Hello everyone! A couple of weeks ago, I shared with you a video about expectations versus reality in Istanbul. But let me tell you that I have many others and these are very interesting as well. So in this video, we're going to speak about expectations versus reality part 2 in Turkey and in Istanbul. So if you're ready, let's get started. That Istanbul is not a crowded city. Many people know that actually Istanbul is one of the biggest cities and of course is one of the most crowded ones in the world. But some other people are not aware of the fact that this is in fact a very populated city. So many believe that maybe the places will not be that crowded, that the public transportation will be almost for themselves, because we have also read comments of some people who visited Istanbul complaining because the public transportation was too crowded for them. Well, I'm so sorry for telling you this, but welcome to Istanbul, to one of the most crowded cities in the world and one of the biggest ones. So yeah, that is something that also in the last years, also Istanbul has grown in population. And yeah, I mean, you will find, especially the European side of the city, will be much more crowded than the Asian side. But don't get surprised that if you see the city quite crowded, especially on weekends and holidays also for Turkish citizens. That the Grand Bazaar is the best place for buying souvenirs and everything that you are looking for in Istanbul. Well, with this thing, I have to say a yes and no. Everything depends. I will put it like in a middle point. If you know the places inside the Grand Bazaar, a reliable place, then I will say that yes, it's a good place in fact to buy things. But you need to go with somebody who really knows the stores. That means with a local, because a local mostly know what places are reliable, that will not try to give you an overpriced product and so on. But if you go on your own and if you only enter to the first shops that are on the main entrance of the bazaar, more likely you will have an overpriced product. So this is, I will put it like in a middle point, yes, but no. This is about the Asian side, and I have seen in a couple of videos sometimes of people that are visiting the city as tourists, and they believe that maybe the Asian side has nothing interesting to see or to visit. Even I remember watching one video of one traveler couple, and they were saying, oh, we're going to the Asian side, but we know there's nothing to see, so we're just gonna say. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? Maybe to me, the Asian side will be one of the most interesting and underrated places in Istanbul. Actually, the Asian side has many places to see. It has a lot to offer, more authentic Turkish vibe as well. So I would definitely recommend any visitor to visit at least once the Asian side, and not just Kadıköy or Üsküdar, which are nowadays some of the most visited neighborhoods by tourists in Istanbul. Also try to go to those neighborhoods like Beykoz, like Maltepe, for example. There are so many places that you can see that really worth a visit. So you need to see it to believe it, that yeah, there are places to see. This one will be that driving in Istanbul is easy. Well, to be honest, it's not easy. Even in my case, I consider myself a very good driver. But to be honest, in Istanbul, in general, in Turkey, maybe I wouldn't do it. Maybe only in smaller cities, in smaller provinces, in those cities that are not too crowded as Istanbul, maybe I will do it. In fact, I have done it in Cappadocia and I was feeling comfortable enough to do so. But when it comes to driving in Istanbul, I don't dare doing it. First of all, the traffic is crazy. Turkish culture in driving is very different. So no, I don't think I could do it. Also, I wouldn't suggest somebody who doesn't know the city to come and drive, to rent a car, to move within Istanbul. I wouldn't suggest that. Also, the parking, it's being a big problem right now as well. Finding parking lots, it's a bit difficult. Maybe you will find those public parking lots, but of course they get full right away because just the population is growing and growing, and now it's getting difficult everywhere. So yeah, no, driving in Istanbul is not that easy. I wouldn't suggest that. Instead, use the public transportation, which is amazing in the city. You will not struggle. It's affordable still, and you can reach almost every place just by using the public transportation. We already have a video explaining everything about it, so you can go watch it in our channel. This is that I have seen some people commenting on my channel, and also I have heard many others saying that all Turks are unfriendly and even all Turks are scammers. Yes, I do agree that unfortunately, there are people that are not that friendly and also there are scammers as any other touristy city in the world. Just tell me something. Whenever you go to these cities like Paris or the most touristy cities in the world, are there scammers? Unfortunately, there are. It's not only in Istanbul or only in Turkey. They get advantage of tourists everywhere you go. But I also would like to ask you, have you met all 85 million people of Turks living in their country to express that maybe all of them are unfriendly and scammers? I guess not, right? So yeah, maybe like in the bigger cities, people, because it is normal that in the rush, because they are going to work, home, and vice versa, they might be more in a rush. So maybe sometimes they are not that that friendly. That doesn't mean that they don't want to help you or anything. But also in every big city in the world, this is a problem that happens, that usually people living in those cities are less friendly than the ones living in smaller cities, in smaller provinces in the country. And this is something that also, as people living in Istanbul and that we love exploring new places in Turkey, we have also realized that usually the people living in smaller villages, in smaller towns, they are much more welcoming and warm and like that, and they love visitors as well. So please do not say that all Turks, all people in this country are that way, because they are not. That's why instead I would love to invite you to visit other smaller cities, maybe less touristy cities, so you can experience the real Turkish hospitality. Because trust me, something that Turks are famous for is for their amazing hospitality. That in Istanbul is very easy to find or grab a taxi. Oh, no, trust me, this is not. Even as a resident, locals, we're struggling every single day with this problem. Finding a taxi for the last year probably is been much more, it's been a lot of problem. You cannot find them easier, not even on the streets. They will not stop even though they are empty. When you're trying to get them from the app, such as Uber or Taxi, they just cancel or they call you just to make sure that you're a tourist, to overcharge you and so on. So yeah, the problem in that with taxi drivers is increasing in time, and of course government is trying to do something, but it's just something that it hasn't been addressed yet appropriately. So we are still waiting as well. So no, finding a taxi in the city is not as easy as you believe. That is why I keep telling you, instead use the public transportation. Thinking that you can see something in Istanbul in a short layover. And a short layover, I mean 6 to 10 hour layover in the city. I get this question asked a lot on my social media, and this is something that I said, yeah, probably you can see something. The airport. Trust me, the airports, there are two airports in Istanbul, one on the Asian side and another one, which is the new airport, is in the European side. But both airports are quite far from the city center, from the main touristy areas like Sultanahmet, Taksim, Galata, and all of those places. A minimum without traffic is 1.5 hours to go and another 1.5 hours to go back without traffic. So take notes, because with traffic it can take even 2.5 hours or more. So yeah, I mean in total you need to consider that you need let's say 5 hours to make it on time to the airport and then see something. So yeah, no, I wouldn't suggest anybody who has a very short layover at the airport to go visit something, because you're at risk of missing your flight. And also the airports, they can get quite crowded, especially in high season, that there are many checkpoints. Also, that is something that many people are not aware of, as in many other cities, especially in Europe, that you will not find the checkpoints at the entry of the airport. Here in old Turkey, usually, especially in Istanbul, you will find that there are many checkpoints, one before entering the airport, another one for the passport control, and so on. So sometimes in high season, there's a lot of people, and you know, like some people, they are like so relaxed, they take their time to take off their clothes, the things, and some others are in a rush. So just keep that in mind. It's not that easy here. And this one will take me back to number 1, which I spoke about, that the city is not that crowded. This is a bit similar. And this is not about, some people believe that the city is not that big. But once that you're here, you will get surprised of how big the city is. Believe me, sometimes people who are living on the Asian side and they have to go to work to the European side and vice versa, if you know a person who only takes one bus or one metro station to get to their job or whatever, that person is like, it will be like the minority, because most of people in the city who are living and working here, they take on the road at least 1 to 2 hours just to go to back home to their jobs, to school and whatever. So yeah, the city is so big. I haven't really explored like the furthest neighborhoods like Büyükçekmece and those places, because really it can take hours. So yeah, you can imagine how big it is. And the last one is about people cannot show affection in public. This is something that I have also read a few times, especially on my Spanish channel, and they have written there that they know or they believe that people, for example, a couple, they cannot hold hands or they cannot kiss in public. Well, it's not like that. Actually, of course, you can hold hands, you can hug in public, you can show affection to your partner, you can freely do it, but it's not that open yet, or it's not that normal yet to see people like kissing in public, like openly kissing, you know. Yeah, you will see, especially younger generations, you can see them more showing affection to each other and so on. But it is not that it's not allowed like in some other countries. No, you can do it. Of course, you can hold hands, you can do that. So no, don't believe that here you cannot show affection. Yes, you can. So these were another expectations versus reality in Turkey and Istanbul. So hopefully you have enjoyed them. Hopefully also these little reality things made you debunk some beliefs about the country in general. And this is a way that I can also teach you or show you the reality of the country. So if you like the video and if you want to see more content like this every week in our channel, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Bye bye.